welcome to the deep dive. You know that feeling, maybe it hits you at 3 a.m., where you're just staring at the ceiling, agonizing over your path? Do you stick with the steady paycheck, the golden handcuffs, as some call it? Or do you chase that wild, maybe terrifying rush of building something that's truly yours?
Yeah.
Today, we're diving deep into that core career conflict. Job versus business.
It really is the defining dilemma for ambitious people, isn't it? And look, the sources we've gathered are pretty clear. This isn't some simple, black or white decision.
Not at all.
It's more like a vibrant, messy spectrum. It changes based on where you are in life, how much risk you can stomach, what the economy's doing. Our goal here is to give you the data, the blueprint, to make a strategic call.
Right.
We've pulled wisdom from, the giants like Steve Jobs and Warren Buffett, but also the really raw, unfiltered stories from people actually doing it, posting on X and Reddit.
Exactly. We're aiming for a lifetime blueprint today. Not telling you what to choose, but giving you the tools to figure out when to be the steady tortoise and maybe when it's time to be the hare.
Good analogy.
So let's start with that path most travel, the 9 to 5, the tortoise path. What really makes stability a superpower in today's world?
Well, the superpower fundamentally is predictability. It's that monthly anchor, that feeling when the direct deposit hits.
Like clockwork.
Exactly. It lets you actually plan ahead 5-10 years out. Think about big goals like funding your kid's college or paying down a mortgage. This predictability, it takes away that sheer terror of zero revenue month that frankly haunts a lot of entrepreneurs.
Yeah, that's huge. And it's also like a paid classroom, right? Companies actually invest in you.
They do.
They pay for training, mentorship. There are pathways for advancement. Forbes pointed out that you get to really focus and become an expert in a niche without having to risk your own money on testing the market or figuring it all out solo.
Yeah, precisely. You're climbing a ladder, sure, but there are guardrails. And there's another benefit people maybe underestimate. The mental health aspect of fixed hours.
Oh, definitely.
When you clock out, you can actually clock out. That boundary frees up so much mental space for family, hobbies, maybe even that side passion you're thinking about.
Feel free Netflix, right?
That separation is key. Work doesn't have to consume your entire identity.
Yeah.
And the sources agree. For someone starting out, a job is often a much smoother entry point.
For sure.
You build skills, resilience, a network, all without betting the farm on day one. You apply, you learn, you grow under guidance.
Okay, so the safety net is real, the benefits are clear, but, and this is the big but for ambitious folks.
Right, when did those guardrails start feeling less like support and more like, golden handcuffs? When does that stability actually hold you back?
It often happens when you hit what we call capped potential. That's the tipping point where stability starts to feel like stagnation.
You're essentially trading your best efforts, maybe even your dreams, for someone else's vision. And the returns, they start diminishing. That typical, 3% annual raise, that's linear growth. Real wealth often needs those exponential leaps jobs rarely offer.
And the lack of control, that's a killer for independent thinkers. You're always sort of at the mercy of the bigger machine.
Absolutely. Layoffs can come out of nowhere, regardless of how well you perform. Micromanagers, sudden strategy shifts. Your world can change overnight. There's that common feeling of trading your passion for just a paycheck.
Which leads to that insidious trap you mentioned, stagnation, maybe even regret down the line.
Yeah, the sources point to that. Choosing security over something you're genuinely passionate about. That can really surface later in life. Comfort can breed complacency.
So the tortoise is steady, structured.
But its path is kind of predetermined, The finish line was set by someone else. It's finite.
Okay, so if those guardrails feel too tight, maybe it's time to think about cutting the chains. That brings us to the hare, entrepreneurship. It's more than a career change, it feels like. A calling.
It really is. It's the ultimate accelerator, I think. Entrepreneurship is raw, it's relentless, yes, but the potential rewards, they can be absolutely ridiculous for the right person.
And the rocket fuel here is that infinite upside, right? No ceilings on wealth.
Exactly. When an idea scales, growth isn't just linear, it's exponential. You own the engine.
Just think about that. You own the IP. One breakthrough? Like look at Airbnb, turning air mattresses into a $100 billion company. That kind of wealth creation, it's just not possible on a salary.
Forget possible. And beyond the money, there's the autonomy, total control.
Designing your own empire.
You call the shots, time, location, who you hire, who you fire. No bosses, no bureaucratic hoops, just your vision against the market. That's powerful.
And the personal growth curve sounds almost vertical. Every failure isn't just a setback, it's like a forced PhD in grit.
Totally. You have to master marketing, finance, sales, leadership, everything all at once. It forces a kind of holistic learning that you just don't get in a specialized corporate role.
We saw some amazing real-life stories, too. Like that guy, Tyler Mumford, left a $175K sales job.
Yeah, to start a stump grinding business. Sounds crazy, right? But he netted $153K in his first year. It wasn't about the status. It was about that self-directed impact. Building something tangible, that's freedom.
That vision of freedom is powerful, almost intoxicating. But okay, let's ground ourselves. You said the hair runs fast, but the crash could be way harder. That 90% failure rate for startups, that's stark.
It is stark, and it's a very real filter. It weeds people out.
Do the sources say anything about who makes it into that 10%? Or is it just, luck and timing inflating the dream?
It's rarely just luck. That 90% figure reflects the reality of the high-risk roller coaster. There's no safety net. We're talking sleepless nights, worrying about making payroll, about cash flow. People online, successful founders even, admit it. You never really clock out.
So if the job path felt limiting, this sounds all-consuming.
It often is, especially at the start. 80-hour weeks. Pretty normal. Family time, personal life takes a massive hit. And the biggest warning sign we saw, echoing across different sources.
Don't quit your day job cold turkey.
Exactly. Especially without savings. It's described as a potential poverty trap. Building takes patience, resilience, and it takes money to survive those inevitable bumps and dips, cold, hard cash.
And you have to provide your own structure. Discipline replaces the boss.
Completely. One person who'd made the leap talked about the intense isolation. You're it. The buck stops entirely with you.
So the hair gets that explosive speed.
But the crash potential is immense, and it's immediate because you're not just betting your time anymore, you're betting your own money.
Okay, let's pull this together. Let's do that head-to-head comparison using that spectrum idea for the sources. Lay out the core trade-offs.
Right. So income, job gives you predictable but capped income, great for planning, peace of mind. Business, variable, uncapped, could be zero, could be millions. Huge swings.
Risk level follows that, right? Job is low risk, relatively speaking.
Yeah.
The company takes and the market hits, you've got benefits as a buffer.
Business is high risk. Often it's your personal savings on the line. Very different stakes.
And the growth paths?
Fundamentally different. Job growth is usually linear promotions, maybe every few years. Business growth is exponential. It's either scale fast or, bust.
So putting it simply, jobs are generally better for stability seekers, people building expertise maybe.
Yeah, or those who value that work-life separation more. Business is really for the visionaries, the builders, people who can handle, even thrive in, chaos.
This feels like where we need that timeless wisdom. Steve Jobs really nailed the entrepreneurial drive. The only way to do great work is to love what you do.
Absolutely. If you're dreading Monday mornings, maybe that stable job isn't so stable for you long term.
But then you need the counterpoint. Warren Buffett.
Yes. Buffett's wisdom is crucial, especially for anyone thinking of jumping. Risk comes from not knowing what you're doing.
Okay. So the job isn't just a waiting room.
No, it's the training ground. It's where you learn the knowing, as Buffett put it. You get paid to study the market, understand the supply chain, build your network before you risk your own capital.
That reframes it completely. It's strategic preparation. Like Colin Powell said, success comes from preparation, hard work, and learning from failure. The job lets you do the preparation part on someone else's dime.
You even see these themes play out in movies, right? Like that 2024 film, Lucky Baskhar, clerk turned rogue trader.
Yeah, the lesson there is unchecked ambition leads to disaster.
Right. But calculated risks, like maybe learning trading as a side hustle while still employed, that's the smarter way to start climbing. It's like The Big Short taught us you have to deeply understand the system before you bet the house.
Okay, let's get practical. The blueprint. Whether you're on the tortoise path or dreaming of the hare, strategy is everything. What about the job warriors, those maximizing the corporate rep?
Rule 1, negotiate. Ruthlessly. The data's clear. Not negotiating early costs you potentially hundreds of thousands over a career. Track your wins like a CEO would track profits. Then demand what you're worth equity, 10-20% raises. Use your metrics as leverage.
Don't just wait for the standard 3%. Okay, what else?
Second, side hustle stealth. Use your off hours strategically. Low-risk gigs, freelancing, consulting in your field. It builds skills, tests the waters, and gives you a crucial financial cushion. Or just extra income.
Smart diversification.
And third, critically, Skill stack annually. Think future-proofing. Grab those Coursera certs. Learn AI, data science, finance, whatever is next in your field. Document everything you do. Make yourself indispensable. See your job as a platform, not, a pension guarantee.
Right. Treat your job like your first business. Okay, now for the aspiring business builders, the hair runners, what are the strict rules for them?
Rule 1 may be the most important. Validate before you vanish. You must test your idea with a minimum viable product, an MVP.
See if people will actually pay for it.
Exactly. Before you quit, run $100 worth of Facebook ads, build a simple landing page, get actual feedback, maybe even pre-orders. Don't leap based on assumptions.
Okay, validate. Then what?
Build a savings fortress. You need a runway, 6 to 12 months of living expenses minimum, saved up before you rely on the business income. This cash cushion isn't just practical, it buys you the mental space to think clearly and build, rather than panic about rent.
Yeah, you can't be creative when you're desperate.
No way. And when you do launch, scale smart. Use automation tools, Zapier, things like that. Outsource admin tasks. Use VAs from Fiverr or Upwork. Your goal isn't slow, steady growth like in a job. It should be rapid exponential scaling if the model supports it. Push for it.
But threading through all of this, there was one strategy that came up again and again. The hybrid hack.
Yes. This was almost universal advice from successful founders. The porch light strategy, as you called it.
The consensus seemed overwhelming. Don't quit your job to start a business. 90% you will regret it. Let it be a side hustle.
Yeah, first anyway. Precisely. You use the job stability, the income, the benefits as the funding and the buffer for your startup. You work nights, weekends, whenever you can. You only turn off that porch light, quit the job when the business is consistently bringing in more money than your salary.
It's the calculated transition.
It dramatically cuts down that 90% failure risk. It's the pragmatic path to the entrepreneurial dream for most people. #tag outro.
So we've journeyed from the steady tortoise to the explosive hare, explored the trade-offs, the strategies. After all this digging, what's the eternal verdict? Job or business?
Well, the sources really converge on this. Neither path is inherently better. They serve different seasons of your life, different goals. Remember that stat, something like 80% of eventual millionaires built their initial wealth through a traditional career path. Compounding growth, predictable savings, that's powerful.
Jobs build foundations.
Exactly. And businesses build empires. But usually those empires are built on top of foundations laid earlier, often through jobs or careful side hustles. It's not a single choice you make forever. It's about constantly evolving your strategy for where you are now.
Okay, so final thought for everyone listening. Let's take that Steve Jobs advice. Love it or leave it. But apply the ruthless analytical mindset of a business builder to your current job. Ask yourself, what specific high-leverage skill or passion are you neglecting right now? If you truly master that one thing in the next 12 months, could it make you so indispensable that your company literally couldn't afford to lose you? Or could be the launchpad for your own low-risk side empire? That's the hybrid question, maybe the most important one we leave you with.
Until next time, keep digging deep.